Hey, we decided to make a new video for our channel with birth partners. So we interviewed different men to show the range of experience they might have as birthing partners. So we don't want to say this is good or this is bad. We want you to have a look and make your own minds whether you want to participate in the birth of your child, and if this is something that you would consider, and what other people learned out of this and how that was for you. So I hope this video will help you to come up with your own perspective on this experience and if you want to go for it. So we're going to talk about birth, despite the fact that, it's not often, you don't often talk about birth with men, but we're going to talk with you about this today. I know you have been a birthing partner. So how did you decide to participate? Was it your decision? Was it like your partner's decision? How was it?
For me, it was not an option. I wanted to participate. I chose from the beginning to be part of the process because I want to be an active parent and have an influence in every way that I can on my child. So I was obviously part of the conception process, so it makes sense to be part of the entire process and to accept responsibility, not from a mental state, but from an actual action state, to accept responsibility for the entire process and being a support, because I know it's not an easy process for a mother. It's both transformative for a woman to become a mother and for a man to become a father. So I like to take those experiences consciously and embody them, not just be distant to any experience of life.
Well, actually, I did it twice.
Okay.
So first time was it was in Moscow. With our first son. And the second one was here in Cyprus. And it was different because both times it was my wife's initiative. So it was her wish for me to be with her. So, well, I could say no. But I decided to
not to,
yeah, because I knew that it was extremely important to her. So, of course, I agreed to go together. But with our first son, for example, it was like in Moscow, and we were together until the culmination of the process, and then my wife pushed me out of the room, and she didn't want me to be there. Yeah. So I was sitting next to the door and just listening to all the sounds and trying to understand if everything is okay.
I have three, but they're triplets. And they are 16 years old at this point.
Wow.
Yeah. 2 girls and a boy, so not identicals, and very much all their own everything, their own personalities, their own everything.
That's very interesting. So, and you've been a birth partner 16 years ago.
Yeah.
In US.
Oh yeah, yeah.
How come?
Well, it's interesting. I think, different cultures have different expectations. For me, especially in Los Angeles, then, it was fairly typical, that the guy would be involved, be very much a part of it. There's definitely, the sort of image of the people, of the dads who are not involved is sort of the 1950s dad, who would wait nervously, outside waiting for news with a box of cigars that he can then hand out to all of his friends. It was very it's a thing you'd see in in movies or something like that, right? Yeah. But by this time it had gotten to be more of an expectation that this isn't parenting, it turns out parenting isn't a one-person job, and that kind of gets started right at the beginning.
Most of the people got surprised because back in my country, in Egypt, it's not a very common thing to be inside the operation room or the delivery room, whether it's a natural or cesarean. Most of the fathers, the maximum, if they attend the hospitals, they will be sitting outside waiting for the good news. That's the maximum they can do. But I felt like I want to be in. Well, why not? I'll be with her, so I see what's going on. If something happens, I'm there, so I can take a decision and I can help. And I want to see I want to be the first to see my son.
So I wasn't planning this from the start, but my wife said she needs it, so I decided to participate.
So, of course, I thought about it, and it was scary because it was I was unexperienced in this, yeah, but I strongly know that I want to help my wife to birth our child.
So my wife successfully pulled me into many adventures over the years, and I've come to learn to trust her. When it came to this new adventure, and you sort of planted the idea that I can participate in birth, I frankly didn't think too much, because I was sort of ready to follow and see where it goes. I had some little concerns because, well, people were telling scary stories that it can be a bit like a traumatic experience. But again, I did hope that this trick that you can do with pulling me into something will work again, and it did.
But I would say that for most fathers of my generation, they would have been present at the birth of their children. My brother's got 3 kids. He was there at the birth of all of his. That's very different, say, to my father's generation, when, you know, it was a women-only thing, and typically you went down the pub and just waited for the news. And as soon as you got the news, the tradition would, we call it wetting the baby's head. As soon as you get the news you're a dad, you basically have to buy the whole pub a drink. And, I mean, I know we're going to get into detail with this. I'm still not sure which is the best of the two. But yeah, dads of my generation were there. And even if they, like a lot of us, were a bit scared about it, because, it's a daunting, bewildering and demanding environment and experience. I'm not sure, how many would have actually chosen, but there was a certain amount of pressure for you to be there, because that was like, the not necessarily fashionable, but well, let's say that was the trend of the era. It was all about being a new man.
The main reason is because my wife asked me. I just asked her, like, what do you want to do? Do you want me to participate and support, or you're more comfortable doing this by yourself? In both cases, I'm pretty fine. And she was like, I would prefer if you participate, because I would need your support. So I was like, no problem, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty simple and easy and fast decision.
Okay, that's great. So how was the whole experience for you? How would you describe it now, like after 5 months?
The whole experience, it was, I cannot really say anything bad, because everything was super smooth, positive. I cannot associate. It was just a nice new experience that I would recommend everybody to have it, because for me it's just like a very natural process. There is nothing to be ashamed of. It's like being ashamed from sex or from some natural things that everybody does, like we were born one day,
Yes.
So if in some way I can support my wife, I would do it. Like, if you love your wife and your future baby, why not to do it? So, yeah.
Was it something unexpected? Did something unexpected came up during the whole process? How long was it, you know?
It was actually not so long, like, if we are not counting the contractions, like the process of delivering was a couple of hours. Like, I didn't expect to be so smooth. I guess I'm one from the lucky ones, because I've heard stories that some people are experiencing like 10-hour deliveries, 12-hour deliveries.
Because it was like 18 hours, so yeah, it's hard physically, but you actually have time in the process to rest a little bit, because it will not happen very soon. I wish someone actually told me that it will take so much time.
A lot of time, yeah.
Yes.
And so, how was it for you generally? How would you describe now, after 5 months, how would you describe this experience for yourself?
It's not easy. I'll start with that. I mentally and emotionally I was ready and prepared because I've done a lot of work on myself, and this is the nature of the work that I do, and I was prepared to have a child. I was ready, the time was right, everything was aligned, and a lot of unexpected things show up. What I find interesting about the birth process is that our own insecurities show up as well. Also during the whole pregnancy, our own insecurities show up. And it's an opportunity to look at them and deal with them. So I embraced that, but I also had to take a deep look at myself and see, okay, there's challenges happening. How am I contributing to the challenges? How can I support during the challenges? How can I be part of it? How can I be more present? Yeah.
That happened. I didn't feel nothing really. No disgust, no fear, nothing like that. So, and basically that's it. Because again, for me, it was a very easy experience. It was almost like I bought a ticket onto the show, and it was like, ooh, good.
Because when you're a man, you are not giving birth to your child, yeah. So it's your wife's job. So you cannot help. You cannot do anything if something goes wrong. You have no power to do something. So it's only your wife and your doctor in general. You can only support like mentally, and that's it. That's why you have no control. Well, the first time, like it was extremely tough, psychologically, mentally, first of all, because it's your first child. You have never been present when someone gives birth to a child. You have no control, and of course when you're a control freak, like I do usually, it's hard. It's hard.
When you see how it is difficult for your wife, you worry about her health, and you worry about what if something went wrong. You don't know what to do in this situation. You only can go to doctors, ask for help.
Just be prepared. Take the experience. It's beautiful. Don't think like, what if something happens? No, nothing is going to happen. It's a controlled environment. There is a professional doctors there. You are there to give your wife support, emotional support, whatever she needs, and just enjoy it. It's a beautiful ride.
So for us, when you have triplets, you have to do a C-section. There's really no option, because again, triplets make everything crazy, right? Like, you can't just have the normal room. You have to have the big room, because there's a team of like 10 different doctors for each one of the kids, right? the minute they come out, because again, they're early, right? This is about 7 months.
Yeah.
Right, and so they have to whisk them off as quickly as they come. They have to whisk them off to the NICU, the neonatal ICU, and make sure that they're okay and put them into whatever stage of help they need. People will say, "Oh, I know everything about my wife," and I like, no, you don't. You don't know what color she looks like on the inside. I do, right? Because when I walked in, they had her splayed out like they were rebuilding the engine block of a Ford, right? Like there were pieces of her. She was conscious through the whole thing because they can't put her under.
Okay.
So it was this bizarre thing where she's laying down and there's a shade basically, right? A curtain that they've sort of put up, from here to here.
She doesn't see what's happening there.
Yeah, she can't see anything, but she's talking to me.
Okay.
Of course, these drugs, she's sort of shivering, right? Because that's one of the normal things that happens from these. But she's just laying there talking to me, and I'm looking on the one side, I see her, hi, hey, la la, everything's great, and on the other side, there's this howling maw, right? That where there's like, is that her liver?
For me, not. I think for you it was probably most likely, but for me, I mean, it's quite important that the whole setup was very cozy, welcoming, and relaxing, I would say.
I remember at one point in the wee hours, I found a bin bag and I just put it down in a corner. And I sat down on the bin bag and then I put my head down, sat down on the big bag, and then, pretty much I was out, And, Simone used to give me grief for that, you fell asleep during the labour, you selfish man. Well, no, I was just a bit fucking tired, to be honest. But anyway, I was woken up for the key moment. And the joke at the time from the midwife and a couple of other people on the ward was that I looked like Marty Pellow, who was the lead singer of Wet, Wet, Wet. And they had a big hit with, Love Is All Around, which is cover of the Trog.
We still know it. Yeah.
You still know it, exactly, yeah. So this would be, like I say, 96. I guess, they were really big back then. But what I can remember most vividly is midwife, as Charlotte's coming out, she just spontaneously burst into song and she said, I see a little baby coming into the world. And that was it. I mean, I'm almost crying now. Oh, that set me off.
The fact is, I was surprised to discover that there's a lot of things I didn't know, such as, for example, how to soothe a pregnant woman, especially at the first time when she starts to get the first contractions, and how the pulses goes up. Slowly.
And what I tried to do in that process, I was completely there with Anastasia, supporting her to push, to breathe, to do all of that. But one thing that was, one beautiful moment I had was, I was wondering, how is the child doing? Yes, the heart is beating, yes, all of that. All the electronic stuff is what the doctors do, that's all. But let's connect to the child. So I took a moment and I connected to the child in the moment as Anastasia was breathing and struggling and all of that. And I just took a moment, connected with her, and I'm like, she's fine, she's good, she'll come when she's ready. It was like a very strong message that came along. No fear, no anticipation, but this moment of connecting with my daughter and saying, she's fine, everything's okay. There's pain now, there's all of this stuff on the outside, but the child inside, she's coming at her own time. Beautiful. And there's no need to force.
Beautiful. I don't think that there are a lot of time I hear that somebody decided to connect to the child in this process, like mother often, because this is something like a part of your body at some point in time, but for father this is rare to hear.
More responsible than emotional. I had this kind of self-controlling, I can control my emotions. Up to a certain point that I couldn't hold my tears when I saw my firstborn. It was like emotional. By the way, I was there with her in the operation room, And I asked the doctor personally to give me the scissor to cut the umbilical cord myself. Because I felt like I want to be part of it. I want to feel like, yeah, I'm giving, I don't want to say giving life to my child because it's in God's hands. I wanted to be part of bringing him to this world.
Yeah.
And that was by cutting that cord. I believe being a father is something in every one of us. Also, being a mother is something born with you. It's just how you take that skill or that gift and sharpen it and chisel it to become perfect for the sake of your kids. Trying to be a good father, you started from that day. Because as soon as you see him moving and coming out and crying, and that feeling starts to move inside you, and you start to be, oh, that's something new, that's a new responsibility. I need to learn how to tackle it up. I want to be the best for them. I believe this is the.
That's interesting. I just you know, the metaphor came up to me that when you were saying about cutting umbilical cord, at the same time, now you're saying like this bond and this new cord, emotional cord, just starting to build between you and your son once they out here.
Exactly.
Your job, right, is to keep your crap together so that she's fine, because she's already going through, you know, one of the most significant and you know, emotional and physical and everything else, you know, traumatic experiences that anybody will ever have.
I wanted to talk a little bit about my son Alexander's birth, because if Charlotte's was kind of like, you know, by the book, on time, perfect, Alex's wasn't. So, you know, Alex was born 6 weeks premature and via emergency cesarean. You know, it was one of those things, I think it was the umbilical cord was possibly beginning to strangle the neck. And anyway, an emergency cesarean was something that, you know, I never thought I'd have to witness. But so I'm standing behind my wife, so I'm, you know, talking, you know, over her shoulder to her like that. Yeah. And then there's a screen there. And then her legs are up on the stirrups, and there's a team of surgeons there, right? But I can see over the screen. Simone can't, so I can see what's going on. And you know, there's this massive belly with a child inside it, and you know, they put that sort of swab across where they're going to cut, which is like a sort of a brown, what is it? Probably iodine, sort of like, you know, rub. And then the scalpel just goes in across, and it's like, oh, crikey. You know, I would expect that from a Dario Argento film, but this is real life, and they're doing it to my wife. She's on, you know, like happy juice, I don't know what it is, so she barely feels it. She said, there's something happening. And this is when it turns from sort of like horror to joy. From out of this huge incision comes this kung fu kick, bang! And Alex's foot comes flying out. And I'm thinking, oh my God, he's going to do martial arts, because I used to do martial arts and I was really good at kicking. And it's like, you know, wow, what a way to get out of the human body. You know?
What was, you know, for you as a couple, or maybe, you know, what did you learn about your partner? Anything you took from this experience about her or you as a couple?
Well,
anything new?
First of all, I learned that my wife is even stronger than I could imagine ever.
What was new for me, I didn't know my wife is so strong.
I learned that she can get annoyed quickly, she gets angry. Although she's a very calm person, she's a very strong woman actually. Also, she appreciates me being there for her when she needs me, and that day she needed me.
Well, I've learned quite a lot about you, that you are way more strong than I thought, more brave than I thought maybe. And but I sort of had this idea because we had a late child, so with years I sort of grasped the idea that women are way more courageous and powerful and strong than it usually been like portrayed, maybe.
Like the only thing that it was kind of unexpected was I learned my wife is a pretty strong woman. You know, like I thought like if I had to give birth, I don't know, like it was like at the same time a little bit scary experience. And I was looking at her and I'm thinking, how strong is this woman to do that, you know? And she was like, not complaining, just went and did it, you know?
I think I'll start with the mother. The mother is incredibly strong. My partner and any mother, they're incredibly strong. And I believe that every woman needs to own the strength and accept that there's a strength inside of a woman that goes beyond what we can comprehend. For myself, what I learned is it's just my own, to trust myself, to trust what I feel is true, and to learn more to be in my heart space. Just to sink into the heart, not go into the mind, into the intellect, into thinking, into all of that, but just enter the whole process from the heart space. And I believe this is something to take through on all stages of the development of the child.
I just felt like I gave birth to.
As you realized that your wife is very strong, maybe something that you realized
that I'm also very strong.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you honestly, like it's not for people with weak hearts and like you might see things like you've never seen. I remember one of the shocking moments was when the placenta came out. I was like, wow, like this was inside, you know. Like, okay, I'm not a person who is like getting disgusted from stuff like this. For me, it's all right. But like, I know some people might find it a little bit scary, you know, maybe somebody can faint. So, I mean, it's up to the person.
But it also opened my eyes to the real world. And I learned that there is a lot of things that I need to learn if I want to become stronger.
Now, again, maybe this whole experience, did it affect in any way your couple, your relationships, anything that now is different, or you know, you found something not maybe new, but just different?
So we would fight a lot. We would fight for no reason. We would fight for small things. We would argue. We would, and just for no reason. But once again, this was our own insecurities coming up. And the one thing we are really good at in our relationship is coming and discussing and talking through the things and working through them and understanding where it's coming from, so that we can move through it. And it took some time and a lot of effort, but we've come to a very good space that we're a lot closer together.
And of course, you feel very close to your wife, to your child, because you've been together from the very beginning, from the first second.
I'm proud about this, that I took part in two partnership births, and it's really joined us, and I start to love my wife and my child more, I think, and it's make us closer to each other.
Okay. And like first moments when we see a child is nothing to compare with.
This pushed this feeling up to the maximum. I think even now when I see Gabriel doing something or taking him somewhere, I am like 360, as we say, ready. Some say, yeah, that's from your military. They said, no, it's not. It's just natural thing. I'm a father. I want to take care of my kids and just protect them. Because I was there. I saw what happened, and I saw that miracle happening, and I don't want anything to ruin it.
Yeah.
No matter what.
So I feel more close to my children because I literally knew them from the first seconds of their life. And that's great.
Yeah. I know that some men have concerns about participating in births because, you know, it's...
Which kind of
yeah, the concerns like around sexual life and sexuality, because this is some sort of experience when you probably cannot unseen some things that you're gonna see. And this is, I know this is a tricky situation and question even, and if it's okay if you don't want to answer, but does this affect it somehow? This is the whole experience. Does it affect somehow your sexual life or perception or whatever connected to the sexuality?
Well, talking about my personal experience, of course, like you mentioned, there are some scenes that you cannot like unsee.
Forget.
You cannot forget this, you cannot unsee this. But talking about some effects, well, there is some effect, maybe for a couple of days. But after that, your wife is your wife, the same as before. Nothing seriously changed.
I was reading about this, I know about this, like for me totally no changes happened, like I couldn't wait till I'll have sex again. So yeah, it depends on the person again, but like for me, as I was before, I am now, like no changes whatsoever. I believe if the person had any concerns and any back thoughts before that with the sex, maybe after this it might affect him somehow. But if you're like a free mind, free soul, things like this like don't affect it. Like you want to have sex, you have sex. Like doesn't matter she delivered 5 babies or not.
She's the same as, I believe she's the same as I met her first day. The same on the day of the delivery, the same when she's taking care of her kids and taking care of me also. Because as I said to you, she's like a daughter to me. She's not just my wife. I feel responsible for her. So my affection to her will never change. Whether she delivers cesarean, natural, it's the same. It didn't absolutely affect or change anything.
You know, if somebody, you know, your friend, or maybe not a friend, would ask you, like, Alex, shall I do it or not? What do you recommend?
I would not recommend, because I think they should decide themselves, because this is very important thing to just decide yourself. No one will tell you this is good or bad.
To me it was all positive, all very much revealing and exciting and eye-opening experience. So it would be not fair to say to just anybody, go and do it. But I would probably go as far and say that if you have the opportunity to do birth like properly with that sort of setup, then I would say that it's more important not even for a husband to be in there, which is also very important thing to do and right thing to do, I think. But more so, it's very important for the woman, I think, not to be treated as a patient in an emergency, but rather like a human who gives birth to another human.
I would say if you're afraid to go ahead and be involved in the birth process, try to have a look at what's preventing it, what's in the way, because it is a beautiful process to be part of, and try to find out whatever's in the way so that you can allow yourself the experience to be part of it.
There is nothing in this world for I'm talking about fathers, more beautiful than seeing your children, to be the first to see your children and to hold them, and it's quite fascinating. You're seeing a life miracle happening.
Yeah.
It's something that happened throughout the centuries, since God created us, as we say, and till today. And this is an ongoing process. It's the reason for our continuity.
If you have some concerns, but you cannot say 100% no, then it would be a good option, because this is a decision that you cannot make again. You cannot repeat this situation. If you decide to cancel this from your life, you cannot change this afterwards. And you may want to change this.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Did this video resonate with you? Please share your story in the comments. If you liked it, press like. If you want to have more of these videos in your newsfeed, subscribe to our channel. Thank you.